Hello and welcome to the Heroes of the Storm PTR. They have gone live with Kharazim the monk. So I thought I would do a quick video to demonstrate what he do. You can also rotate things on the loading screen, or pre-game screen now, so... What if we can make him dizzy? I don't think I checked that. Well, you know, now that I've demonstrated we can't make him dizzy here, we've got to go to the shop and make him dizzy. But while we're here, we can look at his abilities. His Q causes him to jump to an enemy or ally, and he will perform an auto attack on them if they are an enemy. This is important because his entire playstyle is based around his auto attacks. Also, it holds up to 2 charges on the 12-second cooldown. Breath of Heaven heals nearby heroes for, well, it scales with level, obviously, and gives them 10% movement speed for 3 seconds. His main healing ability, for obvious reasons. Deadly Reach.
There is no triumph without risk.
Doubles the range of his auto attacks and also the attack speed. By base, he attacks twice per second, and when you activate this, that means he hits 4 times a second, revving up his auto attack speeds to that of Tychus's minigun, which is just silly. 7-sided Strike, which amusingly costs 77 mana. If you have played League of Legends, it's similar to Fiora's old ultimate or Master Yi's Q, wherein they vanish and cause damage to things nearby over a very short duration. It hits the highest health nearby hero for 7% of their maximum health each time. He does 7 strikes over the course of 2 seconds, as it says.
There is no triumph without risk.
And here we have Chrono Shift, or Divine Palm. The healing is 500 plus 100 per level, so at level 10, when you first get it, it's 1,500. If they would take fatal damage, instead of dying, they are put in stasis for a moment, healed a bit, and they're good. As for his trait, he picks his trait at level 1. From Transcendence, every 3rd basic attack heals the lowest nearby hero for 40. Every 3rd basic attack deals 100% bonus damage. Or Insight, where it restores mana. Iron Fist would be... Yes, Kharazim, you've said that twice now. Iron Fist is what you'd go with if you're doing a damage build, which he can quite do. I'm not sure how effective his damage build is for... It's hard to tell exactly how impactful some things are in general on Kharazim, just because of the only map we're allowed to play on at the moment. And Insight I find unnecessary, just because he is not particularly a mana-hungry character. I suppose if you really figure out some way to burn through all his mana at absurd rates of speed. But here we have, he's got a couple of your standard support talents, as well as one that makes his overtake, here, makes Deadly Reach buff his movement speed.
There is no triumph without risk.
And Foresight, I like Foresight. It does a big reveal around the area of whatever you Q to. Here he has Cleanse and Clairvoyance. Way of 100 Fists. I am honestly not sure if this is actually good or not. Since Q normally does an auto attack on impact, making it instead of an auto attack, I'm not sure if that's... It might not be bad at all. And Echo of Heaven, after 2 seconds, his his W reactivates and heals again for half effect. His ultimates? His Q gives him and the target bonus movement speed. Good for helping people escape by queuing to them. Spell Shield and Relentless are standard. And Fists of Fury to increase Deadly Reach's duration. While it may seem like a straight DPS talent, since he has the ability to pick up the Auto's heal trait, he can actually use this to put out some more sustenance healing on the group, really. This is a money one, right here. All of these are great, though. It's level 16. What do you expect? Blinding Speed reduces the dash's cooldown and increases the number of charges. In addition to all the other stuff every third auto attack does, he reduces the cooldown of Deadly Reach. He cleanses the entire team he affects with his W. Or he heals more for everyone nearby. Level 20. Epiphany is an interesting one. It's probably really not that great, just because, like I said, he rarely has mana issues. So it would mostly be for dash reloads. Storm Shield is Storm Shield. 7-sided Strike becomes 11-sided Strike. And Divine Palm's cooldown is set to 5 seconds if the hero he uses it on does not die. That's kind of nutty. But anyway, I don't have really much of a great game to show you, but I can show off the new map.
Triumph without risk.
Yes, you keep saying that. We're getting to it. I have a game to show you. It's not great, but it shows off the new map and shows Kharazim in action. It is very hard to get into a game with Kharazim at all, because everyone is trying to. So, I'll see you in the Nexus. The only map we can play, Infernal Shrines. The shrines appear to actually activate randomly, only one is active at a time. I'll get into more detail on them when the one pops up. You may notice that I am the only non-AI here. That is because the game could not find anyone who wasn't trying to play Kharazim. But I'm rocking around on the carpet. I love how he sits on it in a meditative pose.
The battle begins in 10 seconds.
Plus side to this is that I can just show him off. I mess up a few times here, but here we have his dance. And following up with his taunt, which he does that good old one-armed push-up thing. Trait-wise, I picked up the healing bit, so as you can see, I am just kind of healing as I auto, because I am the lowest health nearby hero. Swings very fast. For reasonably good damage, too. He's not on top tier, but the speed at which he does it.
The shrine will yourselves
And
for
with
the
the shrine
slaughter.
active, once it goes active, someone has to click on it to turn it on, just like you would in Diablo. It causes an unending deluge of little guys to spawn. And as you can see in the bottom right here, we have a counter. Whichever team gets 30 of these guys killed first gets the Punisher to spawn. Oh, Jaina! I fail as support. A lot of the times it feels like the hero they introduce along with the new map seems made for that map. Kharazim here can just kind of stand and auto the little guy all day long if he takes the healing trait. Would also be an excellent one for... Ah yes, there's the Clairvoyance Reveal talent for the Q target. What the Punisher does is it Sonya ults enemy heroes it sees and beats the ever-loving tar out of them. They do, however, act like a golem when they are not noticing a hero, and it has a cooldown on its ability. Honestly, I think the best counter to an enemy Punisher at this point would be to go to a different lane and push it. Because at the moment, mercenary camps do not despawn when it is active. You're just going to get yourself killed trying to go up against a Punisher at this point. This is the PTR, so they may be tuned down a bit, changed, who knows, before it goes live, but as it stands, you can play around a Golem or whatnot. You cannot play around a Punisher. They will seek you out and destroy you. And upcoming is me being a bit stupid. No, it's just AI. I can totally do whatever I want. Except for the fact that I can't Q while rooted. Now let's look at the map layout a bit. We have the bruiser camps on either side up top. Siege camps in a nice little triangle. Overall, the map seems very similar in shape to Tomb of the Spider Queen.
It will be made to serve us.
Up here I was considering getting the Bruiser Camp. With that trait for healing, Kharazim can pretty much handle Bruisers or Siege just by himself. The big guys, on the other hand, are another story. If you don't contest these pretty heavily, there's no Sylvanas shown up yet, so I don't know if she shuts them down like she does mercenaries. But anyone with AoE clear is going to be exceptionally potent here. It would definitely be a knight takes pawn situation for Joanna. I guess you buy a Nova decoy there. This is my favorite of the Punishers, just for how it looks. Meanwhile, I go off to deal with these guys, but the AI being AI, they don't let me solo anything. down to the Mortar Punisher. Mortar combat! Look at what he did to Hammer before I even jumped in there. Because if we go by the blocks, he seems to have about as much as the enemy radar did. And at level 10, I picked up Chrono Shift. Just because when you're going for actual support, 7-sided strike, I'm not even terribly fond of the way it does damage. You pretty much need to isolate someone to do anything more than tenderize the entire enemy team. And there, I get Chrono Shifted. Because I figured I had to demonstrate how it works. No, really. When you've got only the AI, you may as well show things off. Yeah, coming up soon, we have the failure of me to Chrono Shift anyone who is about to die. Because this map is so centered around the Punishers, at least when you're dealing with enemy AI, and yeah, I tried to shift her, and here I was too slow to shift myself, and just failure all around. Fights tend to end up pushed into the enemy keeps and bases so much that I can't really get a good feel of how well he does for damage if you were to do that build with him. This would be an arcane Punisher. You can tell by the crystal. I think it's always the same Punisher per lane, but I could be wrong. Careful, Jaina. This one here was pretty close. They very nearly got their own Punisher. I'm not sure if I could have let them. It might have been good for demonstration purposes of what to do against them, but
Summon an arcane Punisher.
aside from simply pushing a different lane, another option would be to have the tank bait them to basically do that, except when the wall is still up. Those arcane bars. They are really not all that great at pushing structures. We're doing an excellent job here because we got a hammer, but Punisher himself, I can't see his numbers, but it does not appear that he actually does a huge amount of structures. Those arcane bars are kind of terrifying. And there we chrono shifted Tyrande, and she safely ran to freedom. And with no real point in continuing this match, kind of hoping the Sergeant Boomhammer skin would be on the PTR so we can see it. I almost got her out of there. His victory pose is to kind of do the King of Iron Fist turn back dramatically thing. That was Kharazim, at least as he stands on the PTR right now. We'll see him in more actual games when he goes live. Later, everyone.